What is good, everybody? And we have something, to me, incredibly exciting. Wuthering Waves already has dropped the drip marketing for Qingxiao, which is going to be the next resonator to be released in, patch 3.6 of Wuthering Waves. And she looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, genuinely phenomenal. She's one of my favorite character designs that they've done in this game. And her introduction into the story as well was something incredible, which we're going to dive into. We're going to dive into this right here, the drip marketing. We're going to go back and revisit when she's first introduced and have a little bit talk about what that means for her as a character. Because honestly, this era of Wuthering right now in this story is so interesting to me. I actually quite like this vibe they're going for the Qingxiao Cultivator vibe, and I think it's so cool. So we're gonna go right into it today. So here we go, bro. The art, stunning. Let's read. On the chin strings do eons sing, eternal peace my blade shall bring. Qingxiao, a reclusive sword cultivator who holds a nominal post as Zhuan Paragon of Zhuangfeng hold. Aloof, distant, and seemingly untouched by feeling, she is peerless with both chin and sword. To the world, she is the sword transcendent. For years beyond counting, she has stood guard over these lands, and the cold light of her sword is as keen as the day she first drew it. So we have her right here. Beautiful, absolutely stunning art. Blue is my favorite color. Blue and white is the best color combination. She looks beautiful, and here she is obviously playing this instrument. I forgot what it's called. It's like a good something. Oh, bro, I'm gonna brick that up. Brick that up? Wait, no, that's the wrong term. Wait. Everything about this screams to me power. Everything from this is power. You've got purity. Those are the two things that are coming to me, power and purity. And obviously, this is all stemming from the cultivator sort of background. And then we have a bit more from her too over here. So many swords. She's so pretty. I do love it. I didn't expect her to arrive this quickly, I'll be honest. I didn't expect this to happen so quick. Qingxiao's mastery lies in the heart sword. She forges thought itself into sword intent, splitting it in an instant into 10,000 flying blades that answer her will. Where the sword light lands, malice dissolves and the wicked flee. Her skill with the blade was earned through training, yet it has carried her beyond the need for one. A plucked string, a drifting petal, a falling leaf, in her hands, any of them is a sword. So she has absolutely mastered her craft, and that is something that is so key to a cultivator, someone who is seeking to refine themselves and their craft to become strong. And it depends, like in a lot of Xianxia, it really, cultivators can be like on a scale of what they want their intent to. Some might want to seek immortality, some might want to be strong, some might want to seek to protect others, but it's really about being spiritually as strong as possible in order to be able to overcome the things that you need to, right? And devoting your entire being to that. And it's seen as something very, 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 very pure. And it's very, you know, I think that's discipline. And we see something that's very interesting here. She forges thought itself into sword intent, splitting it in an instant into 10,000 flying blades. Let's just go and remind ourselves our first introduction to Qingxiao right here. Oh shit. So obviously I'm looking back at my gameplay right now, and we see her. You know, we're out here, we're fighting all these enemies. There is a lot of, like, Rover's struggling, he's sweating, and then moment she appears. 10,000 swords! 10,000 swords, 10,000 blades right here. Hi. And she appears, and she's like, I smite thee! I smite thee! And then she just like, she just straight up aura farms. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, straight, like nothing. I just lower them. Dang. One simple hand motion and she lowers them. And I think this is such an amazing way to demonstrate her ability and power and her importance. She is the paragon of 𝑬𝑽𝑬𝑹. Not just like Zhuangfang or Qingxiao, of like she's the paragon of 𝑬𝑽𝑬𝑹, and she is so effortless in her ability to do all of this. And I think it's important to remember we now know more information, right? She forges thought itself into sword intent. Now, a lot of cultivators, they can have abilities that manifest into multiple different things. Some people might manifest their spiritual powers into something like that look like swords, or it could be things like seals. Like we've seen like in Xanless, look at Yishuan, for example, or Yishengwan, right? That they can manifest their spiritual powers into kind of physical things. And with Qingxiao, it's very interesting because we know that she could summon these swords, but she controls their intent. So if she only wants these swords to be after her enemies, she can do that. So she could thrust all these swords down into this place to get at the enemies and help her allies, because the whole point of a cultivator is to protect. Well, for her anyway, for her particular motive as a cultivator is the paragon of 𝑬𝑽𝑬𝑹, is to, in order to protect, in order to help, and to train in that purest form. And that is why this is such a cool opening scene for her, and a cool reveal. She's able to smite all these swords down, help out her allies, because it's the intent of the sword. She's trained so much of her spiritual power into being able to do this, into the sword's intent, and it looks so beautiful and so absolutely pretty. And as we could see, obviously, we've got a bunch of echo sets that were released in 3.5. We have this one right here. Okay, we have this one. We have a fusion, like a fusion echo, but we do have an error one. So my guess is she's gonna be an error resonator, which would kind of fit the theme. I know, like, Wu is not particularly great at fitting how the character looks to, like, the attribute that they have, but in this case, arrow is seen as something very pure, very flowing, you know? A lot of cultivator, like, fantasy, you have, like, people on flying swords, for example, so this fits her so immensely, and I think it's so cool. Like, I know there's been, like, I think there's like some discussion about this particular character and how like this scene in particular is bad. And I just think this right here just kind of explains it. She's meant to be this figure of being a cultivator that has this just immense power. She is the paragon of 𝑬𝑽𝑬𝑹. And we really see that on full display. And I think she's so beautiful. Again, looking at this art, incredible. Love it so much. So I'm really looking forward to her and everything that she has going on, and it's exciting. I love sword characters. I'll be real, I'm not normally like a wuxia or xianxia lover personally, but I've actually been quite liking Wuthering Waves at the moment. And also, dude, the OST for this area legit goes like crazy insane. The OSTs have been going crazy insane, so I'm like a fan of a lot of things that are happening right now with 𝑬𝑽𝑬𝑹, so I appreciate y'all. If you want more analysis or story reviews, which I might do soon, drop a like down below and a subscription, and leave a comment if you're going to be pulling, because oh my goodness. Oh, also, to address the shirt, everyone keeps calling me a LARPer for every single gacha game that I play, despite the fact I've played all of them like day one anyway, so we're embracing, we're whipping out all the shirts this week, so that's how we're going. I appreciate y'all. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!